In a recent video, I talked about the worst nostalgia bait samples in rap songs, and now it's time to take a look at some that are actually good. I know nostalgia bait kinda sounds like a negative term, but it doesn't have to be. I want to share with you some examples that just do it right while using a sample that instantly makes your ears perk up with recognition. What makes these songs good? Why are they better than the bad nostalgia bait rap songs? Well, this is CDTVProductions, and let's talk about it, starting with the most recent one and then working our way back through them. At the time of recording this, Nicki's Pink Friday 2 album pretty much just dropped, and this is one of the two songs from it that I fully enjoyed. It is not a good era for the Barbs right now. Not a lot of the album was particularly fun, despite the name of it and the cover suggesting that it would be. Like, why does an album called Pink Friday 2 with a cover like this have so many dark sounding trap style songs? However, Pink Friday Girls fits the bill. Yes, it's a textbook example of nostalgia bait, which kinda seems to be Nicki's thing right now, but I can't even hate on it, man. This is just pure fun.
Looking for my lip gloss and my liner. Looking for me, told him meet me at the diner. Got him smiling cause he know I outshine her.
The original Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper is one of the most feel-good songs of all time, and I think Nicki does it justice here with energetic verses and a vibey hook.
In the middle of the night, my father yells, what you gonna do with your life?
Honestly, this track would have killed it as something for the Barbie soundtrack if it was made in time. While most of the album is fairly forgettable, I've had a really good time listening to this one.
I want to take me to funky town.
Ayy, try to run from the switch, we catch him. Dumb ass ain't make it too far. Whole lot of shots in the car.
In the worst nostalgia bait rap songs video, I talked about It's Getting Hot by NLE Choppa pretty much just being a straight up remake of Hot in Here by Nelly, which is already a rap song in itself. It just feels a little bit unnecessary. But We See You, also from the Cottonwood 2 Deluxe 2.0 project, flips the non-rap song Funky Town into an energetic rap banger. And that for me really works. It's also just kind of funny to flip something that's as fun and groovy as Funky Town into a song that's essentially about shooting your ops.
Wait till we see you. Walk down. Wait till we see you. Walk down.
My favourite line here has got to be, I was gone on a spiritual journey, now I'm back sending neighbours to God. Some people might still see the sampling on here as a bit too on the nose, but as far as NLE Choppa sample tracks go, I think this might just be the most fun sounding one. And when NLE feels like it, he can genuinely be one of the most energetic sounding rappers.
You beat for me, I'ma even the score equally. Take you on Jerry Springer and beat your ass legally.
I show face in my showcase, fresher than Colgate, make hoes wait, I hold weight. Bottle of rosé in a rose, driving with road rage.
This is just a recipe for a great song, honestly. Two rappers who were influenced by and have collabed with Eminem, one of whom previously remixed an Eminem song, and the other of whom is known as an exceptionally good freestyler, rapping over the beat for an iconic Eminem song in a freestyle type of fashion. I love how Eminem inspired the rapping itself sounds on this track from Juice and Cordae, with constant rhymes and almost cartoonish imagery in the lyrics. It feels very Slim Shady-esque, but they still put enough of themselves and their own styles in there to really make this work.
I smoke 10 J's with two hoes that go both ways. Funny how 2 + 2 equals 4 play. Got my mom Chanel with the newest purse, Birkin bag, never heard the act. What type of purse is that? Something that's very fucking expensive, I deserve to brag.
Cordae's opening verse in particular really feels like an ode to Eminem, and I really love how it comes across. As for Juice, I feel like we didn't get enough tracks like this during his career, where he's just straight up doing a rap freestyle over a hip hop beat. I know he was great at freestyling hit songs on the spot, but it wasn't often that you got to hear him over production quite like this. So I'm really glad this track exists. Both of these guys rapping verses back and forth, doing what they do best, and paying homage to one of the greatest rappers to ever do it.
So right here ain't adding up. Snack it up. 100 ain't no whacking us.
Push it to the maximum. I do what I want to.
This has got to be the most transformative use of a popular sample that I'm talking about here. If you're gonna sample a nostalgic track, why not go wild as hell with it? Scaring the Hose genuinely has some of the most insane 2023 production that I've heard that I need to pull up a thesaurus to truly describe Peggy's beat for this song. It's exhilarating, mind-boggling, rip-roaring. I feel like I shouldn't love this as much as I do, considering that my ears aren't always fond of louder and more harsher sounds musically, but JPEGMAFIA just has a way of making abrasive beats really entertaining to listen to.
Stuff in their place. They don't say that shit to my face. Cause they know I take shots like Clay.
Crazy.
I wanna rock right now.
This track is a non-stop roller coaster of sounds, and Peggy and Danny wrap circles around it. They're such a brilliant duo together. This is one that technically does fit the loose definition of nostalgia bait sampling, but it does it in pretty much the most acceptable way, not using the original track as a crutch and leaning too heavily on it, but instead taking it and just flipping it into something entirely new. Who would have thought when Milkshake was originally released that it would eventually go on to be morphed into something like this?
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Rocks on my fingers like a nigga wife me. Got another shorty, she ain't nothing like me. Yeah, about to catch another fight.
Coi is the third rapper here who was also included in my worst nostalgia bait rap songs video, but hey, if you throw enough nostalgia bait sample tracks at the wall, there's a higher chance of at least one of them sticking. And when it comes to Coi, for me that song is Players, sampling The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Now, does Coi's track reference any of the original content of The Message about the struggles of living in poverty? Of course not. It's a song about how girls can also play guys too.
He blowing on my phone, but I'm ignoring him. He thinking he the one, I got like 4 of him. Yeah, I'm sitting first class like valedictorian.
There's one bar about coming from rags to riches, so maybe that counts, kind of. Not quite the same level of social commentary, but if you don't compare it too much to the sampled track, it is pretty enjoyable in its own right. The beat makes me want to do a little dance, and Coi's delivery over it is exactly what it needs to be for this track. The pre-chorus in particular has just dug its way into my brain. I can see why this is her biggest hit song yet. Simple, short, catchy. Sometimes that's all you need. Look, I know this is a very silly song, but I absolutely love it. Yung Gravy isn't necessarily a rapper that everybody loves, and I can kind of understand why. Even as someone that enjoys him, there are a couple songs where it kind of feels like he maybe wants to be taken a little bit more seriously, even when his overall shtick and musical persona is just so goofy. But hey, I find most of his stuff pretty enjoyable. Gravy's whole image and character, and even his buttery smooth voice, gives off this 80s kind of vibe. So it makes perfect sense that he would sample such an iconic 80s track, Never Gonna Give You Up. It was only a matter of time until a rapper sampled the Rickroll song and got a hit off of it.
Yeah, you know I live a fast life. I don't got a type, baby, I'm the cash type. Still getting dividends from a past life.
Both of his verses are incredibly smooth, and I really like his reworked version of Rick Astley's chorus for his own hook here. Is it maybe a bit of a gimmicky song? Sure it is, but then again you could argue that a lot of these nostalgia bait type rap songs are gimmicky songs. When it comes from Yung Gravy, it's just much easier for me to not take it that seriously and just have fun with it. I love this song, honestly.
Smooth criminal, Mike Jack, and I still like to toe the 4-5 like Mike back. Pull that tech out just to make a statement.
Okay, first things first. I'm not the only one here who thought Polo G said, "My gun matched the color of my cock" on this song, right?
Rich ass gangster, my gun match the color of my cock.
Like, it took me until I looked up the lyrics on Genius to realize he was saying car. Anyways, this track is a banger. Polo G and Michael Jackson isn't necessarily a combination I would have pictured working so well together in my head, but the bouncy instrumental, which samples the bass line and reworks it from Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal, works extremely well with Polo's intense rapping. I like when Polo G does this, man. I know for the most part, he's more so focused on the melancholy, melodic rapping sound, but honestly, some of the tracks that I revisit from him the most are his harder rapping tracks. And of course, this track has a couple of cool Michael Jackson references in the lyrics as well, with part of Polo G's hook being interpolated from Smooth Criminal also. Again, it's one that takes a non-rap track and morphs it into something different in a way that actually sounds really good. A great track to listen to if you just want to get energized.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
And I don't need you no more. Don't wanna see you no more. Bitch, you get no love.
Now this is quite a leap back from 2022 with the previous song to 2010 for this one, but No Love does actually fit the definition of being a nostalgia bait rap song, which feels pretty crazy to say because No Love in itself is a nostalgic song for people around my age. It samples the 1993 hit song What Is Love by Hathaway, and while the equally legendary rapper Gorilla Zoe actually sampled it earlier in 2010 with his own song titled What Is Love, I guess you could maybe argue that Eminem and Wayne did it a little better with No Love. The performances from both of them on here are incredible. Like, for something that fits into the category of pop rap, they both went in on this track. Wayne's wordplay and imagery is captivating. He even picks up the pace of his flow at certain parts.
Yeah, put the dick in their mouth, so I guess it's fuck what they say. I'm high as a bitch, up and away, man. I come down in a couple of days.
And Eminem just fires off endless lines for what I think is like 2.5 minutes on his verse, and it's just incredible to listen to.
When you're so good that you can't say, cause it ain't even cool for you to sound cocky anymore. People just get sick cause you spit, these fools can't drool and dribble and drop anymore.
The singing of the hook isn't necessarily good because it's Eminem, but he still makes it work in that sort of endearing way. One of the absolute highlights from Recovery, and like I said, a nostalgic track in its own right. Also, if you want to feel old, in about 3 to 4 years, No Love will be as old as What Is Love was when No Love sampled it. But this isn't the only song I'm including here that fits that definition of sampling a nostalgic track, but also being a nostalgic song in its own right.
That's how long I've been on ya.
Now, to be fair, you could dispute this one and say that a track that samples a song that was only 6 years old at the time doesn't really count as a nostalgia bait sample, but I'm just gonna say that it does count here. Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger by Daft Punk wasn't necessarily a massive hit song in the US, but it came from an album that sold and charted well all across Europe and did pretty well in the US too. So Stronger was sampling a track that was pretty well known at the time. And what Kanye did with it for Stronger was honestly pretty magical. I mentioned in my tier list video for every Diamond rap song that I used to think Stronger was a song that was a little bit overrated just because I heard it so much as a kid that I kinda got sick of it, but revisiting it now, I genuinely think it might just be one of the greatest rap songs. I mean, purely from a production standpoint, it's just absolute magic. And Kanye's rapping around this era was just so bold and confident. He had the air of a superstar on Graduation, and this track reflects that perfectly.
Bow in the presence of greatness, 'cause right now that has forsaken us. You should be honored by my lateness.
I feel like it's aged exceptionally well too. Like, for a track from 2007, the year of our Lord and Savior Soulja Boy, it doesn't sound that dated at all. It just feels pretty timeless. Debatably nostalgia bait, but I'd say that it counts, and Stronger managed to exceed the popularity of the already fairly popular song that it was sampling. That's just a testament to how good Stronger is. So now I'll pass it over to you. If you can think of any great nostalgia bait songs that I didn't cover here, drop them down in the comments below, because I'll be happy to check out any that I might have missed. I appreciate you for watching as always. You can click on the screen right here just in case you haven't seen the bad nostalgia bait rap songs video, and much love to my channel members and Patreon supporters over here, with a special shout out to Griffin Upchurch, I Am Regent, KWG13270, Lucas1123, and Not Vimpen.